Before tanks, before drones, and even before gunpowder, the terror of battle could come running on four legs. In the chaos of shouting soldiers, clashing spears, and swinging swords, a dark shape darted across Rome's battlefields. Strong, fast, disciplined, yet brutally dangerous. It wasn't a man or even a horse. It was a Canis Pugnax, the Roman war dog, bred by the Romans not for companionship, but for hunting, guarding, fighting, and killing. This was no gentle camp animal. The Canis Pugnax was a weapon of flesh and bone. Today, very few people even know its name. Forgotten by the history books, but never forgotten by the legionaries who trusted it with their lives. To understand how this fearsome animal was created, we have to travel back to ancient Greece, to the mountains of Epirus, home of the greatest dog breeders of the ancient world. The Latin name Canis Pugnax translates to combat dog, but the animal behind that title was not born by accident. It was shaped through centuries of war, hunting, and sieges. Its bloodline goes back to the Greek Molossers, enormous dogs that guarded flocks and homes in the rugged lands of Epirus, a region that today covers Albania and northwestern Greece. Thinkers like Aristotle and poets like Virgil describe these Molossers as incredible animals, loyal to their masters, but powerful enough to bring down a lion if necessary. The Romans, always quick to notice useful traits in other cultures, saw the Molossers as something special, a diamond in the rough. They began importing them, breeding them with local dogs, and even the war dogs of barbarian tribes. These new mixes were faster, fiercer, and more unpredictable. Rome's goal was simple: to build the perfect war dog, one that was large but still agile, powerful yet obedient. From this breeding experiment, the Canis Pugnax was born. Standing about 60 centimeters tall and weighing between 40 and 50 kilograms, it had a dark coat that made it harder to spot in the night. Its bark was deep and threatening, its instincts naturally protective and territorial. This was a gladiator in the shape of a dog. By the 2nd century BC, Rome's brutal public games had expanded far beyond one-on-one gladiator fights. They became spectacles of pure violence, and the Canis Pugnax soon took center stage. Trained to attack without hesitation, to ignore pain, and to react instantly to the smell of blood, these dogs were unleashed not as companions, but as executioners. In the arenas, they were set upon condemned criminals, unarmed prisoners, or even pitted against wild beasts imported from across the empire, lions, bears, and massive wild boars. To make them even more vicious, they were often starved for days before the fights. When their chains were dropped, the crowds roared in excitement. The bloodshed wasn't an accident. It was the peak of the entertainment. Some dogs even grew so popular that they were given names and cheered by the crowds like true four-legged gladiators. But the arena was only the beginning. Rome soon realized that these dogs could be much more than brutal entertainers. They could be soldiers. As Rome's empire expanded, its armies clashed with enemies in every direction, and many of these foes used their own war dogs. The Celts, Scythians, Germans, and Britons all sent dogs charging into battle. These animals fought with unrelenting ferocity, leaping over shields, tearing at soldiers' legs, and defending their masters' bodies with teeth and claws. Rome took note. If enemies could weaponize dogs, so could they. But Rome didn't just copy, they perfected. They refined the Canis Pugnax further, crossing it with barbarian breeds to increase speed and aggression. Yet what set the Roman war dog apart wasn't only its body, it was its training. Unlike tribal war dogs that attacked anything that moved, the Roman Canis Pugnax was drilled to fight like a legionary. It attacked only on command. It could recognize friend from foe. It would hold position under pressure and, if necessary, die at its master's side. The Canis Pugnax had stepped out of the arena and into formation. No longer a beast of spectacle, but a soldier in the most powerful army of the ancient world. Like every Roman recruit, the dog endured tough training to turn raw instinct into battlefield discipline. First, it learned the sense of its comrades, ensuring it could tell lies from enemies. It responded only to specific commands, ignoring the noise, screams, and distractions of war. The goal was simple: no hesitation, no retreat. These dogs marched with the legions, covering up to 35 kilometers per day. Many even carried small packs on their backs filled with food, messages, or supplies. They guarded camps at night, warning of approaching enemies long before human sentries noticed. Inside Roman camps, the castra, the Canis Pugnax, played critical roles. They guarded prisoners, protected supplies, and stood watch over perimeter. In dangerous frontiers like Germania and Dacia, these dogs greatly increased the safety of the troops. They weren't just animals alongside the soldiers. They were part of a legion, bonded by loyalty and hardened by war. Official records rarely mention dogs in detail, but traces appear throughout history. At the Battle of Vercellae in 101 BC, the Cimbri tribe used war dogs to defend their camp. Roman writers recalled how those dogs fought to the bitter end. Even after their masters had fallen, their courage surpassed many human fighters. During Julius Caesar's campaigns in Gaul and Britannia, enemy tribes were noted to have guardian dogs as well. Rome's solution was simple: train and integrate its own war dogs. From then on, the Canis Pugnax accompanied soldiers, especially in hostile regions where ambushes and raids were common. Sculptures like those on the column of Marcus Aurelius even show dogs alongside legionaries, proof that their role was not symbolic but tactical. The Canis Pugnax wasn't like a catapult or other weapon of mass destruction. It was a precise tool, used when fear, night, or hidden threats required more than human senses. Despite their courage and service, these dogs never earned the same fame as horses, generals, or war machines. Few records remain. No military manuals were dedicated to them. Yet to the common soldier, they mattered deeply. Legionaries often treated their Canis Pugnax better than slaves. They were fed extra rations, given care when wounded, and sometimes even buried with headstones like family members. Retired veterans occasionally brought their dogs home, keeping them as loyal companions after years of war. As centuries passed, Rome's empire evolved, and with it, warfare changed. The pure line of the Canis Pugnax slowly disappeared, bred with other dogs or lost to time. Yet their legacy survived. Modern breeds like the Neapolitan Mastiff and the Cane Corso still carry traces of this ancient war dog in their strength and temperament. Now that you know their story, don't you think the Canis Pugnax deserve a place of honor alongside Rome's greatest heroes? If you enjoyed this story, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who loves history. And as always, may Mars guide you in battle. And if you'd like to discover the 10 most famous gladiators of Rome, click the thumbnail on your screen. See you in the next story.